Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to share why I wanted to start back up my YouTube. And I might have mentioned this before, but hey, for the new subscribers and just to have it a little bit more recent up in my 100 plus videos, it was never the intention to be an influencer or to be in any one like niche of like teach you how to cook meals or do the mommy thing, vlogs and like morning routines and get ready with me. Honestly, because I'm not even that like all pulled together. I don't really, the only thing that keeps me on a routine is my kids because they have to have the same things every day. I, on the other hand, I'm like over here like, wait, did I eat? Did I eat? Wow. Okay. And then I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't eat. By the time I'm like shaky or, getting a headache and I'm just like, ah, so there's that aspect of self-care, but when I first, I'm hearing things, TT hush. When I first came to YouTube, my initial goal was to share my entrepreneurship journey and Black owned and women owned products. But my mental and my home life and my self-care, my self-love was not in alignment with me being able to be consistent with that. Of course, I can always look back and like, damn, I wish I had, rode that train out and documented that journey. But at that time, I was like, this ain't glamorous. This ain't nothing to be I can't do both. I can't do it all. I'm not, when I'm going through my fields and when I was working all those jobs and going through all those transitions, I was not like, oh, let me document, you know what I mean? Oh, let me like share. Oh, and I think it takes a bigger person, a great person, a person who's really secure in sharing their journey when it's real time to be like, hey, this is what I'm going through, and I want to share so I can help someone else. I, on the other hand, came back years later, still with my channel up, but with a very different feeling of like, now I'm ready. Now I can do this. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to talk about how when I reflect back on that, I had a moment of like, wow, where would I have been had I not started my self-love and self-care journey? And it's scary. I'm thankful. I'm so appreciative, but it's still like, wow. And I feel like because I wasn't just like, oh, wait, I got to do something different. So I'm going to like type in self-care and self-love on the internet and like, draw from other moms and draw from YouTube. I did it a more like old school way. And then much later down the road, when I was like on the tail end of my journey, that I found like, oh, there are other people out here that, have not a new way, but like they're saying the same things that I started like trying out and experimenting with, because at that point I was like, what else do I have to lose? Like everything that I had been doing in my 20s has not worked, has not been beneficial to me. It hasn't felt good. I don't know who I am. I don't recognize myself. So, I have said this before, right when I was about to turn 30, I just had this like fly prayer, like, God, please don't let my 30s be a repeat. I don't know like how else I'm just gonna lean on that. And then it became this like rush of like, okay, wow, this is a thing. And it was really exciting because I knew I wasn't alone and there were women out here really truly changing their lives from all different standpoints in so many different ways, from so many different backgrounds, with kids, without kids, in other countries, just in such amazing ways. And they too decided to get on these different platforms, get on these blog posts and things like that and share their story. And so that's what inspired me to have a slightly different approach with from the single motherhood standpoint within self-care and self-love, not so much dating advice, not so much, all on beauty or like, let me show you how to take care of your hair. Let me show you how to do your makeup, or let me show you how to dress your best. I took all of that information once I found it way late in the game, and then was like, again, okay, and then was like, well, I can talk about my experience because I did it too, but I had kids and blah, 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 blah. So let me pull up my list. My mental was very, I think I've always been a happy person, but just like letting things consume me, things making me feel like defeated, things making me feel like there's no other way. I outgrew that, and I really worked hard to always look at my circumstances as a lesson, a step up, a deter, like moment where it's just like, not this, but that, not no completely, but yes, like this, not him, her, not her, him, you know what I mean? Not this job, that job, not this town, that town. I was able to like just flow with it and just trust that the best was always coming to me. So that was my mental. Oh, and my self-talk. I really worked on my self-talk, not being defeated, not feeling like the victim, not being, my own worst critic, not beating myself up and talking crazy about what had happened in the past. Not even talking about current things like, that this is just blah, 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 blah. TT, stop it. Yeah, that really helped me not being such a complainer and someone who just felt like I didn't have any control and it was just like all for naught. Being unfulfilled in my current situation. So it's like I was able to hold on to the dream of my life as it is today. I was able to like every day remind myself I'm getting closer to the things that I want. I'm almost there. I'm like 3 feet from gold. Like I am going to be able to do this. I am going to be able to step away from this and move like that. That's what kept me present. That's what kept me grounded even when things around me didn't look like or feel like I wanted them to look like. So like I would get bills in the mail and be like, that's okay because I'm gonna have the money to be able to do it all. I'm gonna have the income one day. I would pay my rent and be like, that's okay because I'm gonna be able to live in a much nicer place and have way more left over. I'm not sweating this. I used to, when I live with family, on 2 different occasions, I was like, that's okay because I'll have my own space one day. I said that out of order. When I would get dressed and be like, this isn't like the clothes that I feel best in, but one day I'm going to be able to buy my shoes, my heels, and dress like I want to dress, even though the money isn't there now. I don't even have the time. Like, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Now I'm like, I get dressed to sit in my house. I get dressed to go run errands or pick my girls up from school or drop them off or whatever. So, that contentment and the hope for tomorrow really like kept me like in survival mode, even when I wasn't thriving like I wanted to be thriving. My self-love really helped me set those healthy boundaries, set my standards higher. I stopped going to dates to Chili's. I stopped thinking that, a man at a certain place in his life was okay. I stopped feeling the need, or not even the need, but the obligation, or to help him be better, tell him what he needs to do, or accept certain behaviors, or give him time to grow, and all this other BS. I stopped that. And I started pulling. And another thing that I started doing was not giving my all to any one man at any given time. And come to find out that there was this whole, much later in the game, much later, I was like, there's this thing out here called rotational dating. I was kind of doing that. I was like, not messing around with these guys, not getting serious, not letting them, jerk me around with their word games, not letting them come to my home, not letting them know too much about me, not protecting myself, not letting them use my body, and definitely not letting them know how much money I got, what I got, where I'm going, until I knew if they were serious or not, until I knew if they were marriage-minded or not, until I knew how they felt about children, until I even felt like, do I even like him? So I started dating and being smart. And when I say dating, sometimes it was just, yeah, hey, we just got a couple drinks and we went to a great show and, watched some great live music or went to the harbor, went to MJ, whatever. But it wasn't like, yeah, this is gonna, turn into something serious. I wasn't getting, and they'd be like, what are you looking for? What are you? And I'm like, I'm just having a good time. I'm just, focused on me right now. And they'd be like, oh, okay. And very quickly, I was able to weed out people. So I didn't waste time and I didn't lose myself. My number one focus was always me, first and foremost. If it didn't feel good, if it didn't support me, if it wasn't something I wasn't comfortable with, I didn't do it. But also, too, at the same time, those type of people started falling out of my life. Friends and people that, were asking me out. I stopped getting the catcalling nonsense stuff like, hey, girl, you know what I mean? What you into? And more like, hey, how are you? I just wanted to tell you look really beautiful. Do you mind if I have your number? That kind of, all these things started shifting when I started focusing on me and only me. Now, I did date seriously, but again, I didn't lose myself. And I was like, I don't have a problem with letting something go that doesn't work for me. It doesn't feel good anymore. I stepped away from jobs that were like, okay, this season is closing. I stepped away from offers that I said, okay, this is no longer working for me. I set timelines on certain things. I set timelines on certain people. I set timelines around my time. Don't call me after 11 o'clock because if I'm not already out, I'm not going anywhere. Don't call me to take me to Fridays or Chili's. Don't call me to, hey, what's up? You want to just come over and Netflix and chill? Don't call me if you already know, you're not going to pay for the babysitter and blah, 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 blah. All those things that I set up in my mind to be like, okay, this is what I will and this is what I will accept and this is what I don't accept. That alone, it was like a magnet because after a certain point, I didn't have to keep doing this and telling people how I roll. It was just offered, it was just assumed, and it felt really good to be respected in that. People would say, oh yeah, you look prissy. Oh yeah, you look fancy. Or what you do today? Where were you going? You must be a librarian, or you must be you look like a lawyer. I would get all those little funny comments and things like that from passerbyers or the circles that I was running in. And I used to like have this like guard up, but then I would take it as a compliment. Okay, so what? I look bougie. Okay, I look like, I come from this, that, and the other. That's how I feel about myself. That's the standard that I have for my life, I really want to touch on the relationships again because people in your life can take you away from what you want. I had a friendship and we were doing this side hustle thing together. We were working this Amazon account and doing the deliveries and all this stuff. And we were doing this stuff. And this guy was very smart, but he had all these little side things going, nothing ever solid. He didn't, own a home. He always had different cars, just that kind of, I don't want to say messy, but he just had a lot going on. The tables turned, find out he has feelings for me. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought we were just friends. And I had to make a decision in that moment because it didn't matter how good he looked. It didn't matter how nice he was. It doesn't matter how well we worked together. It didn't matter how I, admired his ability to, make $1 out of 15 cents and sell this and buy that and flip cars and have this going and that going. I didn't like the instability. I didn't like that his kids were in England and he was over here still figuring it out. And he was a little older than me. And I was like, But I think the old me in my younger 20s would have been like, oh, we can work together. Yeah, we can hustle and grind together and figure it out. And I'll, maybe you can move in with me into my townhome, or maybe I'll downsize and live smart and be minimal in your basement apartment and we'll just figure it out. I'll drive your used cars. I'll, go out once in a blue moon with you, whenever you can afford it. And yeah, we can work together. No, I did not want that to be my life. So I had to say, no, thank you. You're a great guy, bud. The self-love and the self-care will have you looking at the big picture, not looking at potential, not he's a nice guy. Oh, he likes me. Yay. Someone likes me with my 2 kids. Yay. Wow. I get a badge. No, I was like, no. And to further my, let me just double check. I asked my dad, I was like, there's this guy and he is from this place and he's He's a hustler. He's a hard worker, but he's a hustler. And he was like, you can just stop right there. And I said, and oh, well, that confirmed that, because that would have taken my life so far from how I wanted to be, what was in me, but not like I wasn't cultivating her 110% like I should. I wasn't like, she's not there yet, but it's halfway there. Don't derail now. My friend that I dated for a couple years, he was another one who, great guy, great house, great car, great career. But had I moved forward with him, I would not be able to do what I wanted to do and needed to do with my money, my career, my goals, my ambitions, and I would be taking on his $3,000 plus mortgage, or at least half, pulling my weight in that, and paying for half this and half that, and that would have been a strain on me. Why? Because his living expenses were more than mine were by myself. And he was a sweet guy, but that would take me backwards. And my self-love and my self-care was like, don't do it. Just peacefully and kindly, just, no, babe, no, thank you. And I wasn't having any more kids with these jokers. So I was able to, over the years, keep working, keep striving, keeping the discipline. I focused on my career. I focused on my desires. I focused on how I felt every day, even when there was nothing around me that would be like, yeah, you're living the life. Drinking $5 wine versus, the wines that I enjoy today. The little oldie $3 and $5 wine, that little winking owl. Like, I was doing what I had to do. But now I don't have to do those things. Nothing wrong with the budget, balling on a budget. Nothing wrong with doing what you can. Nothing wrong with TGI Fridays. Nothing wrong with any of these things. But if you know that you want to be up here, you start saying no to what's down here. People, places, and things. And that's what I had to do. And your self-love and your self-care has you like, I am also a queen. And I also now feel that I deserve only the best. And I don't have to make any declarations and be a bitch about it. I don't have to, put you down, but I can just say no, thank you. I can just say no, thank you. That doesn't work for me anymore. Did I touch on being able to gauge how far I've come? I think I did. Loving every place that I was at. Loving every stage and being thankful in that moment. Being present. I made a video and I was outside. It was late fall, but somehow that sun was so warm and it felt so good. And I was like talking to the girls and I was like, we're just going to enjoy the now. We're just, enjoying our snacks. And I feel like I am at my home, or at a nice park in my nice neighborhood, or, at the income, the salary that I want, with the comfort that I want. Like, I feel that now with my little, how people make the charcuterie boards and, it's all bougie and fancy and stuff. Anything can be expensive. You can buy $3 olives, or you can buy, $20 olives. You can buy, really cheap cheese, or you can buy the fancy gourmet, aged cheese. You can buy the Oscar Mayer deli meat, or you can go to the deli bar and buy the boar's head, whatever, fancy ham, premium, this, that, and the other. And so in that moment, we had some little grapes and wheat thins, some little crackers, and some cheese. And I was like, but we feel like we are there. We feel like that's what we're eating. That's what we're, I'm taking this day to just revel in a day off, when one day it would be nice to just, do I want to work or do I not want to work? And I remember working with a nurse who was PRN, and the unit joke behind her back was, she don't even have to be here. She's PRN because her husband got it like that. She just loves nursing. Now, how nice, how crazy is that? I was like, wow, goals. So I'm not all for, never working, never have your passion projects, never, tapping into your skills and things like that. But when you are your own boss and you doing something because you just love it so much and you don't even need the money, that was the level that I wanted to be in within my healthcare. I was like, I see y'all nurses out here that complain about being a nurse. And I'm like, how? Where? I can't wait to be a nurse. I would love to be a nurse. I am working toward being a nurse, but I'm not going to become a nurse and complain and feel like $50 an hour isn't enough. And, you know, this hospital, this doesn't support me, doesn't work with my work-life balance. None of those things. I was like, when I become a nurse, I'm going to be the proudest, happiest, most come in when I want to come in, travel, you know, or start travel nursing, start educating, whatever, that there ever was. I'd be the best, not really officially a nurse, like part-time PRN nurse ever. Because I was also a proud CNA. I came on that unit with my Starbucks every shift, not even sweating the $7. Like, I'm here and I'm ready to pull this 12. And people would be like, wait, you're not the doctor, are you? And I'm like, well, thank you for the compliment. Wait, are you the nurse? Blah, 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 blah. My medication, my procedure. I have all these questions. Blah, 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 blah. Can you answer? Can you explain this? And I'm like, again, I'm honored that you think that I am someone that has that much authority over your care. I am your CNA. I think I said that when I came into your room. But again, thank you for the compliment. I had that pride about me. I had that, like, I am the eyes and the ears of a nurse. I don't just wipe ass. I'm just not someone's footstool, someone's little, you know, personal assistant. Like, can you go get them water? Can you go? No, I felt like I was an integral part of my hospital and my team. And so it will be in my career. And that's how I feel as a stay-at-home mom. That's how I felt when I was doing jobs that I didn't want to do. Hustling Amazon, cleaning, and doing all these different odd jobs, working at daycare. I was like, this is just a stepping stone. I'm going to continue to thrive, not just survive. And so the self-care and the self-love over all these years also enabled me to withstand and have the perseverance I needed, because I could have quit. I could have been like, I can't do this anymore because I don't even see the fruits of my results. Like, I don't even see it yet. I don't have the man. I don't have the money. I don't have the house. I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't freak out. I didn't also too let a man be like, oh, that's the pinnacle of the success. That's the goal. That's not the only goal. I wanted the girls to have a healthy example of a stepfather and a family unit and a balanced home. Yes. I also wanted my career. Yes. I also wanted to be a homeowner. Yes. I also wanted to live in a certain area. Yes. I also wanted to drive a certain type of car. Yes. So all these things came way before I had the evidence of them being tangible around me. And I'm thankful for the journey, because now I'm able to look back. Wow, I really never should have made it. That's that song. Y'all know the song. I really have come so far. I really have, like, I would have been still working jobs that I don't want to work. I would have been with men that didn't have my best interests at heart. I would have been in situations and places with complainers and non-self-starters and women who don't pull themselves together, don't get their nails done, don't do their makeup because they feel sorry on themselves. They don't see the need and the point in any of it. They're in these mom funks too. I didn't want to live like that. I didn't want to feel like that. And so I share my story because it's like, no matter where you're starting and no matter where you want to go, you can get there. You can get there. I did it. You can do it. And so that is just like a little recap on how my self-love and my self-care was the embetterment of me and protecting me from a lot of situations and scenarios. And like, wow, again, I could have been so stuck. So stuck. So I hope this video encourages you. Good luck to you out there. And until the next video, peace. Bye.